crafting this beautiful sleeve, this beautiful structured sleeve you see on the screen, showing you how to make this sleeve, both the drafting and the sewing. Okay, so I have my fabric here. I'll be using this fabric for the demonstration, and here I have my basic sleeve pattern here. Okay, I'll be folding it like this, so I'll be making use of it on fold. It is 13 inches in length, and then with me here I have a gum stay, a hard stay, to give the sleeve its structure. So I'll be ironing this or fusing this to the sleeve. I place it aside, and also here with me I have a 2 inches crinoline, which I'll be attaching to the hem of the sleeve. So these are the materials I have on hand. And so without talking too much, let's go straight to the tutorial. The first thing I want to do here, I'll be folding this fabric into two, just like I folded the sleeve into two. So dear creatives, I've done ironing and it's smooth enough now for me to work with. So the very first thing you want to do here, you will place this your sleeve on the fabric. Okay, before you place, you measure 6 inches by the side like this and mark. So on this 6 inches point, you just place the sleeve. Okay, you place it like this. Can you see this? So having done that, the next thing you want to do, we mark these points, and then from this point you are going up by 4 inches and mark. I hope that is gotten. 4 inches up, you mark 6 inches here, 4 inches here, from here to here 4 inches, from here to here 6 inches. So having gotten to this point, you can make your sleeve pattern stay on the fabric like this. Okay, so from this point now, you just come straight down like this. Okay, can you see? Okay, so this is it, right? So having done that, you go straight down. Okay, so after we've done that, the next thing you want to do, we'll measure from this point 10 inches down, 10 inches, and mark. And now we'll connect this 10 inches like this with a curve to meet with this point like this. Have you seen? So at this point, we can now remove our pattern paper like this and curve it out nicely. Can you see this? Okay, so this is what we'll now cut out. It's time to cut out. Simply cut out this. Can you see? Okay, then on the M2 we're adding half an inch for sewing allowance. Okay, it's almost ready. What we'll do now, we'll be cutting out 2 of this. Okay, and here I'm done cutting out the second. Can you see? So we have 2 of these. I'll go ahead, one will serve as our lining, so I'll go ahead and fuse a fusible interfacing on one, and then we continue it with the sewing process. Okay dear creatives, as you can see here, I'm done fusing the interfacing on this part. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I only fused interfacing on one side, so you already saw the hard stay I used. And now this is our crinoline that will be attaching, a 2 inches crinoline. So what I'll simply do, I'll just go over to my machine and sew this crinoline like this. Okay, just watch the way I'll place it. The crinoline is like this. Okay, so I'll place it exactly the way it is on the lining, because this fused part will serve as a lining, while this part will serve as the main fabric. So I want the bouncy effects of the crinoline to be facing upwards on the sleeve. Okay, I'll just simply go in there and attach this by just sewing, leaving half an inch allowance. Okay, I'll just sew it in, attach it straight down. Sewing, ensure not to to stretch the crinoline and try as much as possible to maintain the ½ inch allowance. Okay. Also note that at this point you can attach a sewable boning to give it a better structure, though I'm not using one. Now I'm done attaching the crinoline. Can you see what we are having? Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to attach the lining to the main fabric. Okay, ensure that you use the right side of the fabric to face the right side of the lining. Okay, and then the wrong sides facing outside. For this particular fabric, any part can be used as wrong or right, but in any ways, just place them together like that. Okay, like this, and then you stitch them together using the ½ inch allowance that we left earlier on. Okay, so can you see I'll be stitching from here down till the end, and here I'm also done stitching. Can you see? So I've stitched them together using just the ½ inch allowance. So while stitching, ensure that you don't stitch on the crinoline, right? Okay, so I did not stitch on the crinoline. And now, in order for me to have a relaxed effect on the hem of the sleeve, I've gone ahead to trim nicely and also to clip. Okay, can you see? You can also top stitch to make it more relaxed. And now that we are at this point, the next thing you want to do is to join the sleeve by the sides. Okay, mind you, this is the wrong side and this is the main fabric, so the sleeve is supposed to be like this. Okay, you see, I need to iron these parts to make it relaxed. Okay, so I'll go over to my ironing table and nicely iron these parts before we continue. Right, and now I'm also done ironing. Can you see? So we now have the hem of our sleeve appearing this way. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to join the sleeve by the sides. Okay, so as you know, the sleeve has both lining and main fabric, so we hold it together like this, joining lining to lining and fabric to fabric. So we will join the lining to the lining like this, join like this. I'll be using ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch to stitch down. By the time I stitch to this point, I'll bring it over like this, continue the stitching, this time around stitching on the main fabric down to the end. Okay, so I'll go over to the machine and run the stitches. And now I'm done running stitches. Can you see? So this is what I was describing, lining to lining and fabric to fabric. Before we flip it over, let's trim off excess allowances. Okay, so that has been done. Now let's flip it over and see the result. Okay, look at the part we trimmed off the allowance. You can use a sharp object like the scissors to finish it up nicely. Okay, now that has been done, can you see how nicely finished this point is? Okay, this is the side of the sleeve, and here is the upper side. Now we are almost done. What is left is just for us to insert ruffles on this edge. Okay, I'll be pleating. I'll start pleating from the midpoint. Okay, like this, ensuring that I remember the length of my sleeve and I know where my pleats are to end. There's no particular way you will be pleating this, but just follow this order. At this point, you can use your needle and thread. I'll be using my needle and thread actually to put the pleats in place. Okay, so I'll quickly do that and show you the results. Now I'm done inserting my ruffles, and this is the sleeve. Can you see, guys? So you just attach this part to your armhole and your sleeve is ready. Okay, just watch out for my own dress on this particular sleeve. I'm still working on the project, I'm still working on the dress, So when I'm done, you see the sleeve on me, but I'm sure you've already seen the beauty of the sleeve. So if you have learned anything from this video, please drop your comments in the comment section, and also ensure to subscribe. I'm begging all of you to subscribe to my channel. I'd be most grateful because you give me the courage and boldness to keep going.